You can be gay and Christian.
Gold is that Jesus Christ is all loving. He loves everybody. He hung out with someone who was like a whore.
It's Divine D. Yeah, that's she. Remix. I don't know why they think she couldn't do it. I mean, who you know gonna get you to the top? Maybe say I won't stop, cause you just can't flop. Lets you know you great, pushes you to graduate. Just know you ate, it's never too late. Minutes valedictorian, cause I'm gonna stop storying. He never leaves my side, he's in the blink of an eye. Let me tell you why, he hears my cries no matter what. Even if I'm stuck, it's never luck. Doesn't matter where you are, have no shame or fear at all. Your voice goes beyond them church walls. It's Divine D, that she, and welcome back. Hi my chosen ones, and welcome back to another video with your girl. And in today's video, we are doing a reaction video. I don't remember the name of the video I'm going to be reacting to because it's on my laptop in my watch list on YouTube. And my laptop is not open, it's closed because I started this intro and I'm about to wake something to eat out the kitchen. Well, find or make something to eat because nothing is made because I finished my leftovers. But I'm gonna go get something to eat and then we're gonna come back here and we're gonna react to this video. I should probably pull it up to tell you guys what it is called because your girl don't know. And I also want to thank you guys for getting me to 300 subscribers. Okay, because your girl is happy. Y'all remember what I said? I think I said get me to 350 and I'll give y'all a giveaway at 350. But you gotta give me 350 first. 350 first. You give me 350, a set 350, not a subscribe, unsubscribe. No, you get me to a set 350, which means like when I see 351, 352, I'll give y'all a giveaway. Okay, I'll give y'all a giveaway. I said that in one of my other videos. But we're growing with the Chosen One Squad. And I'm so happy, and I thank you guys so much for supporting me because y'all make the dream work. Teamwork makes the what? The dream work.
Okay, guys, so I am back. I've gotten my food. I've made some ramen noodles. Don't nobody make ramen noodles like me because I got my own recipe. But that's besides the point. Today's video that we're going to be reacting to is called Can Christians and Ex-Christians See Eye to Eye? I've never watched this video, so I don't know what it's about. But we are going to watch it today, and we're going to see for ourselves what it's about, and yada yada boom boom. So I'm going to start this video and I'm going to give my honest reactions. If you don't like me chewing in your ear, this is a disclaimer. If you don't like me chewing in your ear, if you have a problem with people eating in your ear, if you have a problem with people talking and sharing their opinions, if you're easily offended and you think that you're going to get easily offended, I advise you to exit stage left because right now when I do these reaction videos, it gets real. I say what I feel the need to say. I sometimes don't have a filter and I say what's on my mind because it's a reaction video. It's my honest reactions. So if you're gonna get all sensitive, if you don't like nobody chewing your ear because I'm gonna be eating because I'm hungry, please exit stage left. You see that X up in that corner? See that arrow, that back arrow? Feel free to click it. You ain't hurting nobody's feelings. So click it. All that being said, if you are fine with all of that, I will continue to my video. Okay, now that everybody who had to exit stage left, they've exited. So let's go and watch this video.
I think
Oh, hold on, guys. I cannot hear for some reason. Hold on.
all four of you know that God really exists. I think you do know. You don't want it to be true.
That's putting work.
Right? I said you might not like it, right?
We are approaching the 150th episode of Middle Ground, and we need your help to continue making more episodes. Join our Middle Ground Patreon community and make Middle Ground with us.
Christianity is the only true religion.
Can the agreeers please step forward?
Hold on. I know everybody has their own belief or religion or whatever, and that's cool. But what is this? What 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 is going on here with this outfit? What is Oh, I know that is not. I wish I could zoom in. I think I can. No, it's not because it's on screen recording. What is going on with this outfit? It looked like Red Riding Hood that got into a crime scene. Anyway, all right.
It's kind of interesting because there are so many religions, and I don't even consider myself religious. I consider myself a child of God. I have a relationship with Jesus. So I would say the only true way to heaven, the only true way to eternal everlasting life is Christianity.
Well, I'm surprised that all of us came forward because, I'm a pastor, so that's expected of me. But I've noticed that it's such a hard thing to say today, rather than it was like 30 years ago, because so many people get offended. I mean, you didn't say anything else except Jesus is the only way, and right there, people don't want to talk to you.
Right. It's really true.
True. For me, I think all religions teach you to do well. But Christianity is the only religion that teaches you can't do it without God. You can't do it without Jesus. So
That is true. While all the other religions are focused on doing things in life and all that, I feel like Christianity, like you said, all things have to be done through God or by God or with God. So I feel like he does have a point. As a Christian, we are told that Christianity is the only true and right religion, and that's what we are supposed to believe. So of course I do believe that. That's not to knock down everybody else's religion. It's just what I believe in, and that's what I know. I feel like you're only going to know a true religion if you practice it for yourself. If you don't practice a religion, you're not going to know if it's true for you or not. Sorry, guys. Or if it's right for you or not. So I feel like you can only say it if you are living in it and if you're going through it, because you don't know what somebody else has went through. You don't know what other people have experienced, and everybody experiences different things.
So for me, I couldn't get out of my depression. I couldn't get out of my loneliness. I could only maintain. I needed something to save me, pull me out of that.
100%.
And so, I grew up Buddhist, but with Christianity, I was able to really step out of that frame of thinking of I'm my own God. I have to take care of my own issues. And God was the one that helped me in everything.
Praise be to God.
Amen.
I mean, I really don't want it to seem like my religion is better than yours kind of deal.
Of course.
It's simply what Jesus claimed for himself.
Yeah.
So,
And the disagreeers, please join.
I want to hear what that one got to say in that black and red outfit.
If we reflect on the aspect of the only true religion or the only true religion for me, it's a slippery slope, because if you substitute religion with nationalism, we can all of a sudden see the problems with it.
I get it. I think that organized religion can cause a lot of issues. The message of Jesus Christ, he's the embodiment of love, right? But yeah, I truly believe in my heart. I do not think people that do not know him are just going to burn in the fiery pits. I don't think it's that black and white. But yes, I truly do believe Jesus Christ Christianity is the only way.
My epiphany was like walking down Route 101 in Pennsylvania and thinking, oh my God, this idea behind Christianity is that everyone that doesn't just believe in this one thing, they're going to burn forever. And that was like my epiphany, like, oh.
Sorry. What she said, that's the main reason why many people leave Christianity, because people try to be God. And as a Christian, I'm going to tell you, it is not right to play as your God. It is a dangerous game to play as if you are God, because you are not God. God lives within you, but you are not God. So it is a dangerous game to cast people to hell when you are not God. That is God's job. And that's what we mean by judgment. There's a difference between judging, and then there's a difference between judging righteously. Many people leave Christianity just because what she said. People will try to tell you you're going to hell because you did this, because you did that. Da, 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 da. I don't think it's our job to say that. We can simply advise somebody how to do better, or say, hey, this is maybe how you should look at this from this perspective, or maybe you should stop doing this because of this. But you should not ever go up to somebody and say, oh, because you are doing this, you're doing this, you're going straight to hell. No. Yes, we all know hell is a place, and yes, it should be a warning. You should be educating people about hell. But there's a difference between educating people about hell and then casting people to hell. Because the only person that could cast people to heaven or hell is God. So, you guys who are out here, Christians especially, us Christians, the ones that are trying to play as God and saying you're going to hell because of this, or da 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 da. No, let's educate people on what hell is, the sins that are committed to go to hell. But let's not cast people there, because then you're making them feel like their sin is greater than everybody else, when all sins are equal. Your sin is just as great and just as much as the other person's sin. Even if it seems little to our eyes, it's not. It's all equal. So there's no sin is greater than the other. Even though to our eyes and our brain some things seem bigger. Like I could look at this water bottle, these two water bottles, and be like, oh, one is full and one is empty. So you would be like, say if these water bottles were quote unquote a sin, or it was acting as a sin. Just because one is empty and one is full, we look at it, they're both water bottles, aka both sins, right? We'd be like, oh, this one is not a sin because it's empty and this one is full. But no, they're the same. They're the same at the end of the day. So there we go. Let's continue.
Oh man, it is fun, not fun. It is fulfilling to have a very black and white way of looking at the world, right? That I remember how great that felt. But also, like, my epiphany is, oh, there has to be more in the world and the universe than that. That can't be the end of it. Like that. I mean, that might be like an all-knowing God, but that's not an all-loving God. It can't be all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm so jealous that you guys feel like it's the only religion. Like I wish I felt that way still, but I just don't know anything. And there's millions of religions. How can you say 100%?
That's exactly what I was saying. You won't know unless you experience it for yourself. Your truth is not going to be everybody else's truth. The way you feel about something is not going to be the way that everybody else feels about something. So it's up for that person to live in it, for them to be able to say this is true. And they won't know that until then.
That it's the only true one. You can't, but I know in your hearts you can. And I wish I had that so bad, but I just don't.
It's like this, in answer to your question, I mean, I haven't studied every religion to say this is wrong, this is right, but I do know that Jesus is real based on what he's done in my life. And I know the Bible is real based on archaeology and prophecy. And Jesus says he's the only way. So I'll believe him. I mean, he could be lying. I could be wrong.
What if I said that to you?
But
What makes him special?
Jesus proved himself to me by saving me, by doing miracles in my life.
What if I say?
Yeah, but that's anecdotal.
But you haven't saved me.
What if I do though? What if he does? What if anybody else?
The issue, I believe that you experience that, and that it's powerful, and if that makes you a better human being, fantastic. The issue is that it's anecdotal. To go to what you were saying, how can you prove without just the basis of faith that this is the absolute truth?
Christian apologetics.
Right, but the Christian apologetics disagree in a bunch of different aspects,
Not really.
And you need...
No, they don't, actually.
Well, they do, and you really need to focus on whether you are going to theologically accept the Bible as the absolute document of truth, what are you gonna cherry pick from it? What are you gonna accept as, oh, this was just a historical thing?
And I
Sermon on the
understand
Mount,
what you're saying.
when Jesus said, you
understand
can't
what you're
change
saying.
an iota here.
It's hard because like I feel like I'm hyper liberal too and stuff because I'm like you know what I mean and stuff.
Working.
But then I know right. But then it's like it's kind of true to a degree. Like sometimes I honestly feel like I cherry pick from the Bible. Like I'm like, well, they still eat shellfish, so I could be with a man. You know what I mean? It's so tough because it's like I only know how to love a man as much as I would love to be what normal is. This is just who I am.
I want to know why shellfish keeps coming up in these debates
Because it's a weird entry in the Bible. That's why.
Very, very bizarre. Yes.
Well, there.
What? For one, the man in that outfit is making me annoyed because he does not know how to argue properly and have a proper debate. Like he's just being petty. But I can agree because as a Christian, I have seen it and I have done it, and I feel like everybody has done it unintentionally, where we pick and choose what we want from the Bible. We pick out the good versus the bad, and we pick out what we want to pick out instead of following everything directly. And it's evident. It's evident in the world. It's evident to many Christians. They pick and choose and they don't follow everything because they pick what seems right for our today's world. So I feel like that is something we do, and that is a big argument. We do pick and choose unintentionally, and I feel like that's something we all have to work on because we do pick and choose. It's just like, oh, I can pick this today, and then no. It's supposed to be something, if we're going to live by the Bible, every part of it is important. There's no part of the Bible that should not be as important because it's one whole book. It's one whole law. Nothing should be picked and choose. It's just like the actual law that we are under in society in the US. Sorry. If you're not supposed to be drinking and driving because that's the law, it's not like, oh, well, there's other laws that tell me I have the right to bear arms and da 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 da. But today, because I have the right to bear arms and that sounds good to me, I can do that, but I can't drive while intoxicated or whatever I have said, then that means today I'm going to choose to drive intoxicated. No, it doesn't work like that because you're still going to get pulled over. You're still going to be put in jail and have consequences, right? So we should not be pulling and picking one over the other because, like I said, the whole thing is the law. It's important. All the information in there is important. We should not be picking and choosing what we want to pick, and we apply certain things that sound good, but we don't want to look at the harsh things too. We want to pull out the good and follow the good, and we don't want to look at things just like gluttony as a sin, greediness. We try to not look at that because most of us are greedy, whether it's food, whether it's money, da 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 da. We're not supposed to make money like an idol, and some people do that as Christians, and it's just like, did you not remember that part? You pulled out all the other parts, but you didn't want to pull out that part. There's many pastors who do it in the church too. They will be greedy, money hungry, and that is a sin. You can't be money hungry, and they'll skip right over it because they pull and pick what they want to choose. So
There's things that we were meant to abstain from, and then there was a time when God said everything is clean. So I mean, that's the thing, is like if you're actually studying as far as food, if you're actually studying the Bible, and if you're actually looking into the history, the science, the theology about that, that's where you're going to get your questions answered.
I'll
But if you
admit,
don't
I am still ignorant of the Bible. Like I'm not. It's only been like maybe 7 years for me and stuff. And I admit I could probably learn so much from you and stuff just from hearing how you speak about it. It seems like you're very knowledgeable and stuff. So
I have 28 years of the Bible and I still don't understand it. It's very contradictory in some
There's other
parts.
books, you guys. It's okay.
The Bible is always open to interpretation.
The Bible is so confusing. Every Christian cherry picks.
Everybody does.
You're not supposed to lie, you lie.
Yeah.
So how can you not interpret it in so many ways, and it's been obviously transcribed so many times, adding the word homosexual and all this, and it's just
The doctrine of hell.
Yeah.
Not very clear.
Oh
whether
yeah,
or not-
100%.
It's all just, if you look at the God that's portrayed in the Old Testament and the New Testament both, it looks a lot more like us than it looks like an all-knowing, all-good kind of situation. You're like, oh yeah, this totally came to get people to cooperate with the power, folks in
Jealousy,
power.
vengeance. These are human qualities.
My argument or my issue with interpreting is that, we as human beings, that's what we do. We have something and we have to interpret it. My issue is it all boils down and distilled to, is it divine or is it not? And am I allowed to pick things out or am I not? There's so many issues with the claim of divinity, because it's not that it's open to interpretation, it's that it's always being interpreted. There are conclaves,
so many languages.
Yeah, that are built just to do that. To decide which book goes in, which book comes out,
Yeah, Martin Luther took out like 10 books or something, and they're like, why'd you do that? And he's like, that's not what God wanted. It's like, okay, Martin Luther.
Yeah.
One of the biggest reasons why I step forward is, again, because I think it's a guideline, not an absolute. It was tough for me because I'm very much like, I believe in Jesus Christ and whatever God says he wants. And it's tough to even realistically do that every day. Like every day I sin because I kiss this man that I love. And then I jump on a box and go to OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like it's tough feeling like everything that you do, that's just an everyday thing. And it has zero to do with how you treat people. At the end of the day, the rainbow that it gets to and stuff and pot of gold is that Jesus Christ is all loving. He loves everybody. He hung out with someone who was like a whore.
Hey, don't slut shame.
And was like, hey, you still can be this good person. Don't let the world tell you this. But I believe that in some way, the Bible is telling you that. Is telling you like, this is, hey, it's okay to not be this. I think it's maybe organized religion that gets it muffled. And then there's all this.
The Bible never said we would be perfect. That's one thing. We will never be perfect. And God understands that. God knows that. That's why he gives us certain things. Like, for example, having a spouse and getting married, because he knows we cannot fight temptation for a long time. Our flesh is going to get weak. So that's one of the things he gives us in order to fill that void. So there's many things that we're not going to do to his liking. We're not going to be perfect. We're going to sin every day. That's expected of us. Why do you think that repentance is a thing? Why do you think that sorry, I'm full of burps today. Why do you think that forgiveness is a thing, and why he talks about forgiveness so much? Because these things are expected of us. We're human, and he knows that. We're not going to be perfect.
Hate towards everyone, because I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't think that Jesus Christ hated
trying to organize all of the Bible and make it make sense. That's going to fail. Not very clear whether it's telling us to do good things or do bad things. It has kind of a combination of both in there.
How don't you get if it's telling us to do good things or bad things? What is there? Do we look at the 10 Commandments and not see where is the confusion? Because I don't see the confusion of it telling us to do good or bad things. Where do you get confused in that? Like, I just don't. Yes, there are many stories in the Bible where it tells the story of how some bad things happen, but those are not laws. Those are just examples. Like, for example, the Cain and Abel story. These are examples of things not to do. We clearly also have the 10 Commandments, which is telling us what. I don't see any confusion, but hey.
Thank you. I'm actually glad that you brought up the whole translations thing, because that is something that I used to question as well. And once I looked into it, every modern translation of the Bible is actually translated from Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic, which are ancient languages. So it's not that we're just continuing to translate from whatever was modern to another modern, no. And that's why if you've ever heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's ancient text from the Bible where if you were to compare it to the Bible today, only things different is like punctuation.
Listen, nobody arguing her. She got her stuff together, okay? She's a fighter. She's a warrior. She is on the battlefield for the Lord, and can nobody stop her because good luck debating with her because she got it together, okay?
But that's amazing because that was
It's a
one of
big
the
deal.
most amazing discoveries of this century, in that they discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls and they thought they would correct all these mistakes in the Bible. But it was so amazing that 99.99% was accurate. So they were amazed.
2 Peter chapter 1 verse 20 tells us that no scripture is for interpretation. So it's actually for us to accept rather than understand. And for me personally, like when I try to understand, so I have a kid, when he was 5 years old, I tried to explain to him like mortgage. I had money in my pocket. I was still poor. I was living in the projects, right? My kid was like, let me get bubble gum. And I was like, I can't. I don't have enough money. I don't want to like buy him the clothes. I couldn't buy him the clothes. But in his mind, he was understanding it as, Dad, you don't love me. Right? And I'm like, but I do love you. As much as I explained it to him, he couldn't understand it. He was very miserable because of that. The Bible tells us, at least for me, that we're all children in God. Like we're finite beings. We cannot understand infinite things. So when I learned to stop trying to understand rather and just accept, then I was able to truly be free. For me personally.
That's like
Sounds
growing
amazing.
up. It was like I would ask my parents, because my parents are super religious, Trumpers, borderline QAnon. Scary.
2024. Let's go.
Come on. And I was terrified of the rapture. Anytime I said anything about the rapture, it's always just like, well, you're thinking with your human brain. You're not thinking with your heavenly brain. I'm like, but I only have a human brain. Like I can only understand.
The rapture, I think the rapture is scary for everybody. When you think about it, it is scary. And I feel like that's a normal reaction to have. Because you're looking at the basis of it instead of the aftermath of it. And it's just like, we don't know for ourselves. We are not God, so we don't know. We can have feelings if we're going to heaven or hell, or if we're going to be left here or not. And it's just like, you really don't know, no matter how much good or bad you do, because you're not God. So at the end of the day, you cannot just be like, oh, well, I'm all set. I'm going to heaven. Like, it's kind of scary because it's like passing a big test that you've studied for your whole life, that you don't know if you're going to pass or fail because you're not the grader, basically. So I think it's just all about staying and having faith. I feel like that is a normal reaction to be scared about. I mean, it's going to shock some fear. It's going to bring fear to everybody. And I feel like it should, because it's going to make you want to live right. It's going to make you want to do right. If we had that consequence in living here on earth, presently living here in our human bodies, if we had that type of consequence on earth, I think this world would be a whole lot different. We'd have a lot better of a world. I mean, jail, fine, but that's not scary enough for some people. I feel like if we had this type of warning, and we're getting warned about it. Rapture is something warned about, and it's talked about. And it's really vivid in our minds. It's something we could vividly see. If we had something like that on Earth, I feel like it would be a whole different story, and people would be a whole lot different. This world would probably be a whole lot better, because you have to have some type of thing that makes you act right and correct it, because we are humans. Our minds, our bodies, we want to do whatever sometimes. It's like a kid. If you tell a kid, oh, if you don't act right, you're not going to get your snacks, you're going to be put on timeout, they have a consequence to look forward to. So they're not going to want to act up or act out. They're going to want to do right. You know why? Because there is a consequence that they have. So they don't want to do anything that's going to lead them astray. So it's something you should be scared of.
What I can understand here.
Can I ask you something too? I wanted to know, like, so do you believe, like, say, if someone's kind and treats people right and is a really good-hearted soul, but say they really don't believe in anything, perhaps, God, right? Do you believe that they're going to burn just because they don't believe?
No.
I think that God invites us all to have a life with him in eternity. And I think a lot of times we're like, he's just want to throw people in hell. But he's like, if you want to be with me in eternity, These are the qualifications. Jesus is the only
that's
way.
a yes.
Yes.
Conditionally, but terms and
So yeah,
conditions
you
of
think they'll burn
So
in
that's
hell?
a yes. The good person will burn in hell.
If they don't know Jesus, yes, they will not be with God for eternity.
Yeah, so that makes me not want to know that guy.
I think step back a little because
should
we've
go
been
back to the
dancing around it a little
Yeah.
bit, but relating to the prompt though, I would like to know how you became ex-Christians. I think that might help
Actually,
us.
yeah, that'd be really nice.
By reading the Bible.
Okay.
I think
When
that's
you
a
disagreed.
common thing.
Yeah. Well,
Do you mind
I
if
mean,
I ask if you have a religion?
I do not have any organized religion. I don't really believe in anything
Yeah, look like you
supernatural.
do.
I am technically part of the Satanic Temple.
We see.
We only have 7 rules. We don't have an entire book. We don't need to. Yeah.
Is that considered a religion? I'm just curious.
It is technically considered a religion, but it's like the religion to end all religions. They really hate organized religion. They kind of want to just have everybody focus on humanity, putting differences aside, treating each other with respect.
I guess what I'm asking is, so there was a time when you called yourself a Christian.
Of course.
How did you become an ex-Christian? What made that change?
So it all started when my family, I was 22 years old. I started asking, like, specifically, like, if you wanted an example of something. The Bible says in Exodus 20, these are the 10 commandments. And then it lists things that God only verbally spoke. But then later, if you go to Exodus 34, it mentions the 10 commandments, and they're a little bit different. I would encourage you to go look at Exodus 34, especially the 10th commandment. Do not boil a goat in its mother's milk.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. We should be adhering to that today, right?
Well, if Jesus never came and created a new covenant, then yeah, there's a lot of things we'd still be doing.
Sure. Those are part of the 613 laws, which is called the mitzvah. And people don't know that we're not under those laws anymore. We're also not under pretty much any law, because it says Romans 6:14, we're free. Right? We're free from the law.
And I mean,
We're
that's
under
just
grace.
one example. If you really want to focus on the things that most Christians say should be relevant, that would be the Gospels, right?
Sure.
You guys would agree with that?
Absolutely.
Right. So let's look at all 4 Gospels. Let's compare them to one another and tell me that there are not contradictions in them. That
There's no
one
contradictions in
event
the
happened
Bible.
and also the simultaneous other event happened. Like, was Judas, did he die in the desert, or did somebody kill him? Like,
It never says anybody killed him. It says he hung himself.
yeah,
He fell headlong, right? And
I'm sorry, but she knows my front and back. And woo! I'm sorry, they picked the right one for this show because she is not letting up. I love her. She is not letting up. Homegirl knows her stuff, okay?
or was he killed by the people that he was paid off by?
We could have a nitpicking theological discussion with all these
we
different
should,
passages.
shouldn't
But,
Well, not for
could,
this,
but we
yeah,
also
Bible
should.
says
but I
later,
also want to
that's
know,
not what
so
this
your
is.
other your experience, is that similar difficulty with the Bible, so you kind of walked away?
So I talked about my epiphany experience, but also when I came out to my mom, I went to, Christian camp and Bible college. When I came out to my mom, she ripped up my birth certificate and sent it to me.
Oh my gosh.
Which is very I said to my therapist, I was like, oh,
That's
so
horrible.
that was so
that's awful.
passive aggressive. My therapist was like, no, that was aggressive.
That's
aggressive.
100%. No passive.
But, we came to find each other. I was the only of her 5 kids that was holding her hand when she died.
Oh my gosh.
We prayed together. But that experience was one of the ones where I was like, it's not just about me. I lost 2 partners in a row to cancer, which is just, kind of
Horrible.
Yeah. But I know that there is something that I have faith in, and it's not Christianity and it's not God, but that I was the right people to sit with both those women as they died, right?
Yeah.
And that is like what I have faith in. I wish that I still had Christianity. I wish that was something that I could still stomach because, except for you saying you like Trump, I think we would have a lot of fun, right? I already like it.
Trump doesn't have to come. I love Trump. He don't got to be there.
So, I still have that faith. I just wish it could come in a Christian package, but that just does not work for me. I feel like the world is too big for that.
And I see your reaction when she's mentioned the birth certificate. Most of the good Christian friends that I have react the same way as you do. And the problem is that's the norm. Her experience in Christian households is the norm.
That's crazy.
It's the norm. I came out to my family. I am a happily married man for 15 years. And
Can we stop saying that's the norm? Because a lot of y'all make Christians seem like they're uptight. They're so mean. They're so mean. Stop. Because not everybody is the same. Everybody is different. Everybody has different reactions. Let's not do that, because you can't say that happens in every Christian household where they're going to rip up your birth certificate. No, that's not how it goes. Every family is different, Christian or not. Every family's gonna react to different things. A key example is a teen doing stuff they're not supposed to do. Let's find 5 teens who are doing something they're not supposed to do, and let's go to all the five different households. Let them give their kids a punishment, and let's see how they react to hearing the news. They're all gonna react differently. Not everybody is as lenient. Not everybody is as uptight as you make it seem. And I feel like a lot of non-believers especially try to make all Christians fit into a category. They love to do this thing where they be like, this is why nobody likes you guys. This is why nobody blah, blah, blah." Stop, because we're all not the same. We're all not uptight. We're all not mean. Okay? So let's pause there, because not every Christian is gonna react the same. That's Everybody's different in their own way. Yes, all of us Christians are following the Bible, I would hope. And everybody takes the Bible to different measures, whether it's really serious or if they're really religious, if they're really, 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 really strong in their faith walk. So everybody's going to react different. It's going to hit them a different way because of that. So let's not do this thing, oh, you're a Christian, so you're going to act like this. Da, 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 da. I hate that. Like, I really hate that we all label us to be the same exactly, because we're not. We're not. Not everybody's gonna do that. What she did is rip on her person. Not everybody gonna do that. Okay? And let's go and take a survey. Cause no, we're not all the same way. And another thing for non-believers or those who are not Christians and say that they don't believe specifically because of the sins or Bible or whatever, or mainly like the sins or whatever. I feel like those people that have a problem with that, sorry, my lipstick is coming off. I feel like those people that have a problem with that, they have a problem because they're afraid of correction. And that's okay. I feel like some people are scared of correction. They're scared of correction, and that's normal. It's normal since you were a kid. You're scared to get pow pow. You're scared to get put in timeout. You know why? Because you're scared of correction. You want to do so much. You want to roam free because you feel like you're a human and that you could do anything. And then you do the wrong thing and you feel like you should not be corrected. You're scared of correction. You're scared of consequences. But everything has consequence, honey. No matter what you believe in. Living in this world, you have consequences alone. And I think that's one thing that scares people is consequences, correction. And many people don't like the sins or the consequences for sins or hearing about heaven and hell because they're scared of consequences. They're scared of consequences. And that's how I feel. I feel like they're scared of consequences. They're scared of correction. So, yeah.
My family hates me because of that. There's
that's so
an
wild
issue
to
with
me.
that. So
I
that
get
becomes the norm. And when that's the norm, you need to really question, what's happening in there.
So I feel like a lot of people think that Christians are allowed to judge. And if they don't read the Bible, they don't understand that we're not allowed to judge.
Hello. I'm so glad somebody said it.
So that's why a lot of this sounds like kind of your personal problems with your families who claim to be Christian, and this is no disrespect, but if you really are Christian, you're not called to judge anybody. We're all interconnected by sin. If I stand in front of God as an ex-gang member and you stand in front of God as a homosexuality, we're both on the same level.
Yeah.
So we have to recognize that. So I do agree with people when they say,
I like that, but also let's not get confused with judging versus judging righteously, because we do have the ability to judge righteously. But there's a difference if, like, judging righteously is just like, for example, somebody steals in the store. It's not like I'm giving you a regular example, not even a Christian example. I'm just giving you a regular example. It's just like if somebody's stealing in the store. We're not supposed to be like, oh, well, the person who's stealing in the store, they don't deserve to be judged. I mean, in a way, like, oh, we're not supposed to think that that was wrong. No, of course, people are gonna think that's wrong because you're stealing. Like, it's stealing. Like, duh, of course we're gonna have something to say about stealing, but there's a difference. We're not gonna say, oh, that person must always steal, so they stealing again, or they must be broke, or they grew up like this, so they no, that's judging, that's different. But we're gonna have our basic reactions to why. We're gonna just say it's wrong or it's not wrong, and da 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 da. But judging, no, that's ridiculous. Because there's a difference between judging righteously and judging just to be judging. So let's not forget that.
The community here, when they're saying that, Christianity and people.
By judging righteously, I mean judging righteously according to how the Bible tells us to, not just outright judging. Like outright judging would be like, oh, that person is this size, so they didn't know. That's rude. That's judging. We're not supposed to do that. Okay? There's a difference.
People try to act this holier than thou. That's not what true Christianity is.
100%.
I'm just hearing you said my mom wasn't a good Christian. Now I'm mad at you for that. Yeah, like my mom was a good Christian. She was doing what maybe a little dramatic, right? It seems a little gay to wrap up, some of these. Oh my God, but my mom was a good Christian. Like she was doing what she thought she needed to do to keep me from going to hell. Like no joke, that's what she thought was the most loving thing in that moment.
There's a right way to go about it.
If I may add to that, what you said is correct. If you want to be a rightful, correct Christian, you're not called to judge.
Right.
The problem is going back to what I mentioned. It's the norm. So we need to ask ourselves what is happening with the majority of Christian.
It's not the norm. Let's stop throwing around that word. I hate that. It's not the norm. If it's not biblical, if it's not according to the way the Bible wrote it, and you kind of try to compare people to that who are Christians, and you're not saying it off of Bible based for people who are Christians, let's not say it's the norm. I hate that.
Families or households that are all reacting like that.
Yeah, if y'all could just go talk to your people, please. That would be great.
Believe me, I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hey, I know this discussion can feel like a lot. Thankfully, our partner for this video, the Skylight app, has simple, no-fuss spiritual exercises that can work for anybody, religious or not. Here, let me take you through some affirmations I learned.
Things are neither good nor...
Tons more exercises like this, and it's all...
This is going to be a really good question.
You can be gay and Christian.
Nah, I don't really.
I feel that you need to start.
I feel like it can.
Well,
I have mixed emotions about this. I have mixed feelings about this. I feel like you can, but you can't. I feel like when it comes to being a Christian, yes, you can be a Christian and live under those circumstances, but I feel like if you were going to step into a preacher's footsteps or something like that and claim to do that, no, you can't, because then you're leading falsely. But you can be a Christian, but it's just like to the matter of doing certain things, like trying to be a preacher or something, because then it's just, I don't know, I just don't have totally like a great feeling. It's like a mixed thing, like not saying like you can't, but there's just like certain things that come with that, because you're not even following, but we all don't follow necessarily what the Bible says 100% of the time. So yes, you can be a Christian and be gay or homosexual or whatever. I mean, you know what I mean, whatever. But it's just certain measures. I'm gonna hear what people have to say, because I feel
obviously and stuff. I'm a big old fruitcake. I bartend in nightlife. I go dance. I do adult content. I love it. I love having sex with women, which almost sounds bad now that I'm saying it out loud.
It's amazing.
But I still love the Bible. I treat people with respect. I go to confession. I do all these things. I love my LGBTQIA community. And I'm a gay man, a big old fruit, and I love it. So,
and we love
Okay, guys, so that is it for this video. I am holding my camera because the video just finished, and what I realized when I went to go download the whole screen recording thing is that the camera is not even existing on the video. So now y'all are just gonna hear the voice because I'm not scrapping the video. The video is gonna be up and it's gonna be just what it is. I tried to find where the camera went on the video. It was not there. I was recording with a camera, but I think what happened was I screen recorded tab only and not full screen, so it did not get the camera in there. So y'all cannot see me at all during the video, which is kind of a bummer, but you can still hear me. So yeah, that is one good thing. So you guys can still hear my opinions, but I am sorry that the camera was not working, ironically. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to comment your opinions, your whatever. Keep it cute, keep it classy and appropriate. Thank you. No need to be arguing in the comments. Keep it sophisticated, because I will delete your comment if you are arguing. Yes, I will. Okay, if you're getting really naggy and nasty, and no, I will delete. If you're being disrespectful, I will delete. So keep it respectful in the comments. Thank you, please and thank you. Yes. So without further ado, that is it for this video. I hope you guys like this video and enjoyed this content, and without further ado, it's Divine D that she is out.
My God on the line, he's always on time. He's G-O-D, the real G-O-A-T. He'll help you go from Saul to Paul. Remember, God's the one who paid it all. For this is how God loved the world. He gave his one and only son so that we can live, so that we can have eternal life, and so we can live. Hey, that's my best friend, that's my best friend to the very end. Now all we done got, he done got me to the top. Now I can't stop. That's my God, that's my best friend, that's my best friend. Go